Welcome to the Journey to Happy podcast. This is Olga, your host, founder of Olga's Way, and I'm here today on your flash podcast on a changing Monday's attitude. Welcome and thank you for being here. Today, I want to talk to you guys about the subject of postponing happiness, something that I think every single one of us has been guilty of doing at some point in our lives. This past weekend, I ran into a scenario that really brought this back forth into my mind, and it made me want to talk to all of you about it. So the last few days, I've been sending emails to my newsletter with regards to my coaching program called Journey to Happy. And in response to one of my emails, I got an email from a lady whom I have never worked with, who said the words in my email really spoke to her. And then, guys, she proceeded to send me a very intimate and personal email where she told me all about her struggles. This happens commonly to me because of the line of work I'm in. And I love that people trust me from the very get-go to tell me what they're struggling with. And she was sincerely asking if I thought I could help her. Well, she would be the perfect person to work with me because what she's struggling with is exactly what my area of genius is, which is bringing people from a dark place to a much brighter, happier place by reminding them of their own tools. So because she had shared such a personal email and tell me about her journey, I answered back with an equal amount of detail about the program, and I offer her a free discovery call. This is something that I'm doing that is new, where I will call people and I will offer them a 15 to half hour call where we get to explore if working together is for us. Now, with all the information I had from her email, I already knew that what I offer is exactly what would help her. And in fact, I cared to believe she knew that too, which is why she shares so much information. In response to my email, which, by the way, it happened right, I was checking my emails when her email came in. So unlike most times, she actually got a response from me right away. Most people have to wait until I'm in email mode before I get back to emails, but I happened to be in email mode when her email arrived. And her answer was super short, saying, "I can afford it. Thank you, and bye." And I, this is no reflection on, I'm not judging her in particular or anyone, but it brought back to me a subject that I'm often talking to my private clients in our private sessions about, and one that has actually impacted me in the past, which is this ability to postpone our happiness. Here we are, opening our hearts, saying, you know what, I think I need help. I am in a really dark place in my life. And then a door opens for us, and we are terrified of making a change that could potentially make us feel better. This lady is not alone in that behavior. She is the typical person who has anxiety or depression and is attached to her anxiety and to her depression without knowing it. So although she may have made an attempt to change this circumstance of her life of feeling anxious and depressed, when the door opens, she frightens to actually be happy because she cannot imagine what life would be like without anxiety or without depression. As difficult as it might be for her to be depressed and anxious, I bet you anything that's her comfort zone because that's what she now knows. So most people who come here, who I actually end up firing from private practice with me, where I say I can't work with you, are the people who know they need to change, but they're the kind of yes but person. So they know what they need to do, but they also have a reason why they don't do it. And I don't work with them. I mean, I do work until a certain point when I realize there isn't coaching happening. They're not open to feeling better. And so what's interesting is that we're actually terrified of feeling happy. We're so overwhelmed by our sadness or our anxiety that we become comfortable feeling this way. And although we say we want to feel differently, we come up with all kinds of excuses as to why we can't do it now. Now, I'm not saying she can't for real afford it. All I'm saying is that she may have found a way to pay for these services. She may have found a way to ask me for a discount. She may have found a strategy to get the service that she truly felt she needed. Because if you put in your balancing of things, happiness, making an effort, and the sacrifice of, paying for that, versus continue to go the way I'm going about life, and then eventually also having no way to afford anything else because I may not be working in the near future. I may not be able to get out of my bedroom or my bed for that matter. We take value away from what's important to us. We minimize our needs and we convince ourselves of whatever excuse comes forward, right? Like, who can argue the money factor? Nobody. I can't say, actually, if you cut down on your smoking, maybe you'd be able, I don't know enough about her. I know nothing about her finances. And it's true that, to get places, to invest in ourselves is scary. It is where most people fail to invest their money. And to me, that is so, so sad and actually crazy to even think about. But I remember being her. I remember thinking, if that's for me, that's too expensive. But if it was for somebody else, I would totally invest the money in them. So I'm simply here to help you ask yourself, am I postponing my happiness? Am I building tons of excuses as to why I'm not facing my worries, my anxiety, my sadness, face forward? Am I postponing it? Yet am I sitting here saying, oh, I wish this was to be different, but you're terrified of doing the work? If you are allergic to hard work, let me tell you something. Living with anxiety or sadness or depression or frustration is far more work than facing the reasons for which you're sad and anxious and doing something about it. So in the end, all I want you to remember, your life is in progress right at this moment. It is happening in front of you. You're in it. Stop postponing happiness for later, for a better time, for when you can afford it. Give priority to your needs. When your mind is not working properly, when your emotions are not high and at a great vibration, everything in your life goes sour and is so not worth it. So think about it. Are you standing between you and your happiness? If so, what can you do today to step out of that fear of being happy and begin to detach from the story that you are now comfortable with, but that does not make you happy? I hope you find this helpful. I hope you try and apply this on a Monday. And I hope you guys let me know what you thought of this episode, if you found it helpful. And really, from the bottom of my heart, and as a woman who has stepped out of her comfort zone to face her fears, I promise you there is no better reward or satisfaction towards oneself than that one of having faced a fear. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thanks for listening.